In our postmodern world, we look a little askance at anyone with the temerity to say they have had a mystical experience of this kind. Some end up being tended to by Lynette, a nurse in the mental health ward. We are tempted to consider such experiences solely the provenance of the unstable and the fanatical. We are more apt to consider them to be delusions than having any sense of reality. But such experiences, I suspect, are not all that rare, only underreported for obvious reasons. The religions of the world are filled with stories of experiences with God or the sacred. Historians of religion, anthropologists, psychologists, and scholars of mysticism have studied them. American psychologist and philosopher William James spoke of such experiences as being the most striking and extraordinary psychological phenomena known. He called them the unseen. Abraham Heschel, a famous Jewish theologian of the last century, described them as radical amazement in which we experienced a sacred reality beyond all categories. Martin Buber, his contemporary, described it as encountering the you with a capital Y beyond the you and me of our ordinary experience. Psychologist Abraham Maslow named them peak experiences. Historian Rudolf Otto called them the tremendous mystery that fills us with awe. Scholar of world religions Houston Smith described it as another level of what is beyond the observable. Those who study such events believe they fall into two categories: experiences of the sacred as a person or being in another level of reality, such as Paul's experience of Jesus on the road to Damascus, and experiences of the sacred as a presence flooding the whole of reality. In the latter, everything and everyone is what you would expect them to be. There are no visions or extra beings, but everything looks different, wondrous, radiant, glorious. Whatever one makes of these kinds of experiences, and whatever one thinks their implications are, we need to take seriously that they can happen, even to us. They can even be nurtured through various spiritual practices: solitude, fasting, prayer, chanting, drumming, rhythmic movement, contemplative or centered prayer, or meditation. Simply meditating on a verse from the Psalms like, "Be still and know that I am God," can surprise us like Jesus was surprised in the Jordan. But there is a risk in such practice: experiencing God. When we do, our life, our being is forever transformed. After his baptism, we have lots of photos showing the way Jesus lived, with whom he associated, whom or what he confronted, what he taught. They reveal his compassion, his ethic, and his imitation of God. No photoshopping required. We are now in the season of Epiphany, a time of revealing. Its focus is on a divine presence full of surprises about where it can be discovered. From the Magi from another land and faith tradition to Gentile converts, from seeing the divine in strangers and enemies to, perhaps most unexpectedly of all, in our own lives. The lesson is, if you don't want to radically change your life, beware of the sacred. Amen.